Have you ever tried to mix oil and water in a glass? Maybe you shook it as hard as you could. For a second, it looked cloudy, but then slowly the oil floated right back to the top. Why does that happen? Why can't these two liquids just get along? The answer is incredibly small. It is all about the tiny pieces that make up everything around us, molecules. And don't worry, we will explain it in the simplest way possible. Imagine you go to a big party. The room is full of people who love to hold hands. They grab each other tightly and never let go. They spin around together, they dance in groups, and they don't like anyone cutting in. That is exactly how water molecules behave. Each water molecule is like a tiny magnet. It has a positive end and a negative end. So water molecules are always pulling on each other. They stick together like best friends. That is why water forms drops. White flows and white feels wet. Now, oil molecules are like a different group of people at the same party. These people don't like holding hands. They are slippery, greasy, and they just want to slide around by themselves. They have no positive or negative ends, so they don't grab onto anything. When you try to mix them with the water molecules just ignore them. They keep holding hands and dancing in their tight circle. The oil molecules are pushed away. They don't fit in, and that is the first big reason why oil and water don't mix. Water molecules are too busy holding onto each other to let oil join in. Scientists have a simple rule for this. They say like mixes with like. Things that are like water with those magnetic ends mix well with water. That is why sugar and salt seem to disappear when you stir them into a glass of water. The water molecules pull the sugar and salt apart and surround them, but oil is not like water. It is the opposite, so it will never, ever dissolve in water. You can shake it, stir it, or blend it for an hour. As soon as you stop, the oil and water will separate again. They are what we call immiscible, which is just a fancy word for liquids that refuse to become one. Now there is a second reason why oil floats on top instead of sinking to the bottom. This has to do with weight, or what scientists call density. Density is a simple idea. It is about how much stuff is packed into a certain space. Think of two boxes. One box is filled with small, heavy marbles. The other box is filled with big, fluffy tennis balls. The marble box feels much heavier because the marbles are packed tightly together. The tennis ball box feels lighter because there is a lot of empty space between the balls. Water is like the box of marbles. Water molecules are small and can squeeze very close together, so water is relatively heavy. Oil molecules are bigger and more tangled. They leave a lot of empty space between them, so oil is lighter. When you pour them together, the heavier liquid sinks to the bottom and the lighter liquid rises to the top. That is why you always see a layer of oil sitting on the top of a layer of water. You can see this happen all around you. Think about a bottle of salad dressing. If you look closely, you will see the oil floating on top of the vinegar. Vinegar is mostly water, so the same rule applies. You have to shake the bottle every time you use it, and even then it separates again in a few minutes. Or think about a bottle after it rains. If a car leaks a little oil, you will see a shiny rainbow-colored swirl floating on top of the bottle. That is the oil sitting there, not mixing with the rainwater, and sadly, this simple fact becomes a huge problem during an oil spill in the ocean. When a tanker leaks millions of gallons of oil into the sea, the oil doesn't dissolve, it spreads out in a thin layer on top of the water. That is terrible for birds, fish, and other sea animals. The oil coats their feathers and gills, and because it won't mix with water, you can't just wash it away. Cleaning up an oil spill is incredibly hard and takes a very long time. So the next time you see oil and water refuse to mix, you will know the secret. It is all about tiny molecules and how they behave. Water molecules love to hold on to each other like magnets. Oil molecules don't fit into the dance. And on top of that, oil is lighter than water, so it always floats. That's it. Two simple reasons that explain why you will never get oil and water to become true friends. And now you know why. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button to see us again. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.